Waking Up California with Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. I want to welcome everybody. I want to apologize to anybody who was watching the Spanish version of this. Our internet went down, so hopefully we can stay on for the next hour. It's kind of gloomy where I'm at. And for some reason, our internet dropped this morning when we were doing the Spanish version of Waking Up California. Today, we have a special guest, Jack Griffs, who will be on our show today. He'll be coming on through Facebook, who is a congressional candidate. So he's running for Congress around the Modesto area. We're going to talk to him. We're going to interview him for about 15, 20 minutes. If you guys have any questions, if you guys are around the Modesto, Stanislaus area, come in and join us. Ask the questions for Jack. This is his first time running for any office, so it'll be interesting to see how his campaign's going and what's going on with him. This is a show where we open it up to everybody and anybody who wants to come and join us. Political parties don't matter because both parties have failed the California people and both parties have failed the American people in general as its own. So we'll wait for Jack to log in and request us to come on, and we'll ask him a few questions. If you guys want to ask anything, please do. I also want to thank Don Cool for being at the rally this last Saturday that we had in Ceres, California. Don Cool took a bunch of pictures, great pictures that he took this last Saturday. If you guys go on his website, you guys can see some of the pictures, see some of the Patriots that were out there. Sam Miller, thank you for putting the United Patriot rally together. All the people, all the speakers that were there, thank you guys for coming out there and joining us and showing that we still care about California, that we still want to make a difference. We have a rally November 18th. As people keep coming in, we'll just keep kind of talking about what's going on. What I want to do is I want to thank everybody who, first of all, watches our program, everybody who shares and follows me. Thank you very much. We have people from Arizona. We have people from everywhere around the world that actually watch this show. So I want to say thank you. And don't forget to tune in every Thursday morning for Waking Up California. Virginia. We'll talk a little bit about Virginia and what happened over there. Virginia turned red for once. They took a Democratic governor and made it into a Republican governor. Virginia also set the precedence. Virginia, for once, first Hispanic lieutenant governor. Attorney General, it's Attorney General. That is what happened. So let's see, I think I got Jack's trying to come on board. Jack, as he comes on, I want to thank everybody for November 18th who's getting associated. And this is what's going on, right? One of the things in California is going on. We have Leo Zaki going to be speaking at our water rally in November 18th at the Capitol. Leo was also a candidate for governor. I'm sure he's still running, but that's okay. He comes from Zachary Farms, which knows about the water and how that affects their business. So we're welcoming him aboard. Veterans affiliated, Basta, California Women for Trump are going to be there. This is sponsored. I want you guys to know that the host of all this is Boots on the Ground Cali, Make America Great, Make California Great, another great organization. I'm trying to approve you here. Can't bring Jack on camera. There's already, okay. Jack, you should be able to come on any moment if you want to turn on your camera. No answer from live video guests. All right, so Jack, you might have to try again here in a minute. See if you can get on. My internet's a little weak today. I don't know why. We had a down when I was doing my other program. This is what gets me about the water rally. I want everybody to understand we're doing this is for California. It's about not only the farmers, not only us as individuals who use water, but also the poultry, also the salmon. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but we have a salmon run every year. Last year, we killed millions of salmon because of water. We don't have enough water to go all the way around for everybody. So almond farmers take up a lot of the water that should be going into the ocean, the fresh water, to keep our salmon growing, where they lay their eggs and they hatch. Salmon are, yes, salt water, but they need the fresh water to actually be able to reproduce. So the salmon industry gets hit very hard when there's not enough water. When we're sustaining the water here and we're talking about farmers and food, well, guess what? Salmon is food. So we have to be able to take care of everybody. So it doesn't matter on which side of this you're in, whether you're a farmer, whether you're a fisherman, whether you're in poultry, dairies, you guys need to come out here. This is about all of us. This is about water rights, okay? It's not about one group over the other. This is about the whole California in general and keeping our food supply going, not only from the farmers and our vegetables, but also our fishermen. Our fishermen need the water. Now, a lot of you guys don't know this, but we have the technology since World War II to be able to create rain. They go up in the air, they put some stuff in the clouds, boom. Well, now that technology is getting pushed to where they're actually taking that same technology and pushing it over, and rain's going in the ocean. Hey, Jack, how's it going, buddy?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. If you want to speak up just a little bit, I got you on both of our stuff. Jack is on the other side here, so we're going to spend about 15, 20 minutes with Jack, finding out who Jack is, why he's running for a congressional seat, his congressional area. We're also going to ask Jack a few tough questions like, how's the new district going to affect him in his area of running? Because November 15th, they're going to redesign the area for congressional seats. Jack, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Doing great. Sitting here in the backyard in Turlock.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're running for Congress. What made you want to run for Congress? And what is your area of coverage? And what is your platform that you're running on?
So basically, I'm a non-political district runner. Spent a lot of time, in the Modesto area. Grew up in Modesto. Went to, hang out with friends in the underlying areas of the county. Went to Modesto City Schools. Graduated from Modesto. Left for the service. After coming home from the service, I tried to give my kids the childhood that I had, and it's gone. Can't be replicated. Lost too many rights. Too many things have been pulled off the table. My kids haven't even learned trades in school. Pretty much everything that I thought that I was fighting for and building to give them a better future actually robbed them. So it took me a couple of years after retiring out of the service. I'm a Purple Heart recipient from Afghanistan, 08-09. Had several injuries. Went from very heavy to manageable. Started a military nonprofit, was helping my brothers and sisters back here in the district, and I was hitting roadblocks when it came to politicians. And it wasn't like, oh no, we're not going to help you. It was like, oh yeah, but let's bring this other person on. Let's get this other person involved. It's because they want to waste your time. It's not that they don't want to work. It's that they're not working.
And they don't do it, right? They want somebody else to do it. They always want somebody else who they have in their pocket to spearhead what's going on. It seems like.
Yes, they want control. They want instead of just saying, hey, my employee or my office worker got this done through this person, it's I need the credit. I need to be on TV. I'm the one that did this. No, you didn't. The people that work for you did this. And the people that work for you. So when you tell them to work, they work. When you don't tell them to work, are they really?
Right.
I know a lot of the workers in the area have the best in mind for the district, which our district is right now, as it stands on redistricting. We are sitting, as everything stands, at a Biden +4 in the district. We have pretty much been told that Tracy will be exiting District 10. And any way that you redistrict, there's about 3 or 5 different plans on area in which to pull in. That will actually swing District 10 to a Trump +1.
Okay,
so
this. How does that affect your run? I mean, Tracy getting away from your area is almost a bonus. Because it's like we're going further, I'd say east, west. Actually, you're going more west, and you're going more north than where you're at right now. Because Turlock, I believe you got Turlock, Modesto, Ceres, a little bit into Merced, right? Atwater area.
as we sit right now, as District 10 sits, the bottom of Stanislaus County is the cutoff, and we have Tracy across Manteca on the San Joaquin side.
Okay.
So when we redistrict, one of the possibilities is when you get Tracy out, you use Lodi 99 south and east.
Wow.
So you're bringing in Lodi, Linden. You have all those farm communities, which, I'm not saying get rid of Tracy. What I'm saying is that Tracy is filled with commuters. Commuters have a way different need platform than our farmers do. We all need water. You know what I mean? Like, of course, we still have issues that all touch us. But when it comes to their direct needs, Augustine, Newman, Stevenson area suits us better than a commuter's area. If we happen to move up the hill and take in a little bit of Tuolumne County, yeah, they're up the hill a little bit, but that's rock quarries and farmers and ranchers as well. So we are trying to get the demographic, because we need to pull in about 15,000 people into our area to set the district lines. And we kind of need people that we align with, everyone hears, Turlock, Ceres, Modesto, they don't hear that it's farm community. We still have cities, and you have to remember that most of our large businesses are agriculture, grapes.
Well, let's talk about the water a little bit, since you brought it up.
Yes,
sir. There's a rally November 18th about water in the state capitol.
Yes, sir.
All right. We all know that's a Thursday, even though it's kind of
Yes.
inconvenience, but that's when legislation's in there, right? So we're trying to get all the groups to go there. Where are your stance about water and the water rights for the Central Valley? And what do you propose that you could do in a congressional seat to help the people with water and not forget about the people about water once you get into office?
So this is more like a 5-tier plan that I have on water. One of the first things that I would really love to do is make deals with the districts up the hill. We need to build dams, but those dams also need to have power source. They need to have a facility in which doesn't affect the fish coming down stream, but we also need water for the communities, because right now Patterson and Diablo Grande are hurting in our district really bad for a good water deal. We also need water for the farmers. And what I mean by water for the farmers, I mean owned by the farmers. We need federal grants to put in place storage enough to cover them for a whole season if we do have a drought type situation. These farmers need to ground irrigate because we're losing groundwater. I mean, yes, they do have water saving techniques. It's not what's best. I mean, the Dust Bowl was the Dust Bowl because of how dry it was. And we're losing footage on our underwater storage.
Okay, so what happens when we give all the water to the farmers and we don't put enough in the ocean and the salmon don't get to be able to run?
See, and that's how come. So what you do is you have systems in place that not only gain you energy through power source, rotational powers, turbines that allow fish through, and then you have a pump filter system that doesn't affect the flow of the fish. So it's not like you're pulling from a water mass that is going to take away. You still let the salmon travel. You still let the other fish have their migrational seasons, but you're siphoning off more than what you would allow to go to the water. It's not going to affect the flow, and it's not going to affect the animals, but it will help us store water all the way down the hill so that we can continuously pump if we need extra water.
All right, so you're in a farming district where they have a lot of windmills per se. You got a lot more windmills out in your area than most typical people would, especially if you got some of Tracy with Altima in that area with all the windmills. What do you feel for a power source, and what can you do as a congressional candidate to help with the power source in California? Because right now, I just did a show about 30 minutes ago and my internet got shut off because there's no power. Our power grid blew, right? So we know that in California, we don't have enough power. What are your stance on nuclear? What are your stance on bio and hydropower?
Actually, I'm looking at some of those as viable options. I'm also looking at other companies who were actually building for the climate change and then got shut down by lead Democrats and never had their programs brought to the congressional floor. There are carbon scrubbers that use filters to pull carbon out of the air, and they reintroduce it through hydrogen fuel cells. They use the hydrogen fuel cells for building free energy, and then it's called a carbon zero system because they're already using stripped carbon. And so, I mean, everyone wants to talk about a zero carbon platform, but no one wants to run one. And these machines aren't expensive. I would try to get a federal grant to open up a power station in our district that has several different sources in which you can ask about, you know, what's the system running over here? What's the kilowattage? What do we gain? How much money is it saving the taxpayer by using or utilizing this type of system over, you know, other systems? And I mean, I'm not saying get rid of coal. I'm not saying get rid of oil. I'm saying that we all need to use and utilize as many systems, and we need to look at the costs.
Okay. So where can people find out your information and what you stand for, and where's your next location where people could actually meet you in person?
Okay, so right now I have two events coming up on November 9th at 11:15 or 11:45, sorry. 11:45 at Seasons on McHenry in Modesto. I'll be speaking to the Republican women. And then on 11:15, I will be at the Grizzly Bear Cafe speaking to a Stanislaus Republican group at 6 o'clock.
And do you have a website or anywhere where people could get more information about you and also be able to donate to your campaign or help you out? How can people help you?
So right now I'm on Jack Griffith for Congress on Facebook. We are building the website right now. We are putting in a whole bunch of the payment platforms. Until I started running a campaign, I didn't realize how many different ways you could receive money. Not really a tax savvy guy, so I do have, you know, out of my 5 children, 2 of them are of adult age and are helping very much so of the learning curve of the internet.
Not a problem. So next week, I'm going to try to have Gino come on board, Gino Frasco, and he actually is from your area. He actually lives in Riverbank, and he's also been developing a biofuel system to help the environment and
Okay.
housing. And maybe you and him could get together. I'll get you his information because he's in your area. I think you guys would be a perfect team to be able to figure out how to save energy for your district, especially when somebody's open-minded about different avenues they need to go for energy. And everything else
Yeah.
helps all of us.
Yeah, if anyone, I mean, in my district or out of my district, running a military nonprofit, I've worked with everyone around the world and in different countries. Send me an email, send me a Facebook message, tell me about your product. I will come check it out. I mean, I'm an engineer. I get what you're saying, and even if I don't, I understand the schematics. Like, let's get these programs out. Let's get real help out. Let's stop stifling progress in Congress and start bringing effective solutions instead of just more problems.
Gino just put down in the comments his email, but if you want to put yours down there, Jack, so that you guys could get together. And the whole thing about this program, I'm bipartisan. I am a Republican, but I believe that both parties have failed us. Me and you have talked about that before. I think that it's time that we unite California and everything that we do because we need a better future.
Yes, sir. We definitely need more progress and less stifle when it comes to legislation and progress.
I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about schooling. Maybe
Yes.
next time you come on, we'll talk about the school districts and what we could do to make the schools better.
Awesome.
Uh,
Looking forward.
Jack, thank you very much. Anything else you'd like to cover before we go?
No, I'm open. I'm available. Anyone needs to get a hold of me. let's have conversation. Let's get help.
Not a problem. Hopefully you'll have a successful on November. It sounds like you got a busy November from, let's see if I got the dates right? November, what do we say, 9th? You're going to be in Modesto. And Grizzly Cat Fair is on the 11th or the 15th, right?
15th, yes, at 6 p.m. And that's in Turlock off Taylor Road.
Not a problem. Well, good luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you back on the campaign trail. And anything you need, you know you're always welcome. And hopefully we'll have you back on our program and get a little bit more exposure for you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. You guys have a blessed morning, and wish you a lot of peace.
Hey, hopefully we'll see you and your organization and your groups over there November 18th over at the Capitol for the water rights. I think that's something that we can all get behind.
Yes, sir. I'm going to definitely try my best to get some people out there on the 18th.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Jack, and we'll see you around. Have a good one, buddy.
Yes. Goodbye.
Well, that was Jack Griff, Modesto area, running as a Republican, congressional seat. Just like me and him were just talking, the districts are going to get reformed. So we're going to have more congressional seats or maybe less. Now, this is one thing that's coming up in November that we all need to be aware of. We actually have a right and a chance to flip the House in Washington, D.C. Why is it so important to flip that? Well, if we could get Pelosi from being the Speaker of the House, get a Republican in office, we'd actually could have control of what's going on and actually have a better say. What happens in Washington, whether we like it or not, it trickles down and affects each and every single one of us here in California. What I was talking about before, and we kind of talked about it with Jack, is November 18th, state capitol. I know it's a Thursday, guys. I know that most of us think that we need to be at work, but if we don't start fighting for our water rights, we're not going to have any water, and it affects us. A lot of people don't know this. Almonds is huge. It's one of our biggest exports that we do. Almonds are getting sold to China. They're not coming here in the United States, but a lot of the almonds go to China. So we're supporting their economy. We're supporting China, but we're not supporting the United States, American made. I'm not saying almond farmers don't need the water, because they do. I'm not saying that our farmers down here in the Central Valley who grow our produce don't need the water, because they do. I'm not saying that the salmon and the fishermen don't need the water, because they all do. We're all revolving around water. Yet it seems to be a big issue that nobody could come together and figure out how each group, each section could get their fair share of water. Our water rights were trampled a long time ago. If you guys are up in the Tuolumne County, Groveland area, Coulterville, you guys all know Hitachi. We also know that that belongs to the city of San Francisco. Every employee there, even though they live up here, they actually work for the city of San Francisco, because that water gets produced from Yosemite and gets dropped down into San Francisco. Well, we need to fix the water rights, and we need to be able to distribute the water that everybody needs. Instead of all these organizations fighting, we want everybody to come together and let's resolve the problem. Because talking, you can fix anything. But the reality is this. If 90% of the almond farmers say, hey, we don't want nothing to do with this, that's the salmon people's problems. Well, guess what? Legislation doesn't care, because 90% of the people aren't trying to help. That doesn't work. We need the farmers, we need the poacher, we need the salmon people, we need everybody who has anything to do with water to come together so we can separate our water rights. Jack said it best. We need infrastructure. We need better dams. It's not just about digging them deeper. It's not about having more water, but it's also having about the flow of water and how it's done. Now, one source of energy will not produce enough. I talk about desalination. I actually believe that a lot of our problems can and should be fixed with desalination. You need power for that, whether it's biofuel like Gino likes, whether it's hydro, whether it's nuclear, whether it's solar. We need power to be able to generate the kind of energy that a desalination plant needs. Nobody ever talks about that. We all talk about desalination. That doesn't solve everything. At the end of the day, if we don't solve the water rights, we haven't solved anything. Because without water rights, the water's going to keep getting wasted. Now, we understand the flow of water into the ocean. The salmon need the fresh water to be able to lay their eggs and reproduce, even though it's a salt water. But also we understand that we eat salmon, we eat fish. That helps us and our nutrients, right? But we also need vegetables. We also need the almonds. We need everybody to have their fair share of water. We also know there's technology to get above the rain clouds and actually make it rain. The real question is, why are we pushing those clouds into the ocean and dumping our rainwater into the ocean instead of where we need it? Government overreach, government overtake. This is the stuff that we're fighting for, our water rights. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, or whatever you want to call yourself, or no party preference. This is about our water and our future, because whoever controls the water is going to control the future of California and the United States. We need to get into it now. We need to get going. Why? Why are we inviting every group? Because numbers precede. The more people we get there, the more our legislation understand that their job's on the line if they don't do what we need them to do. What we need them to do is sit down with everybody who has anything and everywhere involved with water and actually sit there and discuss a way to fix the water problem in the state of California. That means divide the water right, get the right water rights going to the right places. Is desalination a plan? Of course it is. If we move all the red tape out of the place, we can have desalination plants up within a year. But we also need the power. That means that we cannot keep shutting down our power plants down south like we're doing. There's another power plant going to be shut down at the end of this year down south. We need the electricity. We need the power to be able to do hydro. We need to do a float. We need to be able to not get away from coal, from oil. We need all our road services. We have got to stop trying to think that California is going to be emissions free. Because as long as California is emission free, that's great. For who? Because we're going to get the pollution from the other states that aren't. So we have got to stop trying to be the leaders in something and start being able to live. We have to be the leaders in an affordable state where we can actually make a living. We have to be the leaders in better humanity. We have to be the leaders in fixing the homeless problem that we have that's overflowing us. Those are more important than telling the gardener that he can no longer use his gas lawnmower and that he has to use a battery one. We're passing laws that don't make sense. We pass laws to say that an 11-year-old boy or girl can have an abortion, that they can go change their sex. Basically, we're telling 10-year-olds that they can go ahead and go have sex because it's okay because they can go have abortions. Instead of talking about that and worrying about those laws, why aren't we worrying about the real problems that we have in California? Like, how about we take care of our border situation where we stop sex trafficking? Why are we not shutting down the border? We'll talk about the border crisis here in a little bit because it's a big crisis. Especially it's going to start costing each and every single one of us, American taxpayers, a lot of money. There's no such thing as a free lunch. We hear that all the time, right? Ralph says this real quick. I'm going to jump back here. Problem salmon cannot spoon in warm water. Use flow control to pump water into storage, not release into the ocean. There's some solutions, but we have to come together and actually make the solutions, make a plan, and make it work. Why things don't get fixed? Ralph, I'll tell you, because you got the almond farmers fighting for the water, you got the salmon people fighting for the water, instead of all of us working together and uniting our problem, because it's a problem. Water's a problem. There's a water problem, whether you're a farmer, whether you're a poultry, whether you're a fisherman. There is a water problem, right? We all worry about what's our problem with the water, not what's everybody's problem with the water. So what happens is these groups start fighting each other and nothing gets done. Us here, boots on the ground, Cali, make California great, had an awesome idea. I'm involved. Say, let's get everybody together for a same common goal, water rights. Let's let our legislation hear about our water problems, right? So that's what we're going to do. All sides are coming together. All sides have a water problem. All people, all California people right now, we all have a water problem. Let's get together and fix the problem for once. Let's fix the water rights. Let's demand that our legislation, the people that we put in office, do their damn job and get everybody the right amount of water that everybody needs. Every problem can be solved as long as it's addressed. The problem is that these problems aren't addressed. It's everybody's individual problem, right? So there's where we're at. Let's talk about the border crisis for a little bit. I don't know how much time my internet's going to keep me going, so I want to try to cover as much as I can, as quickly as I can. We have a serious border problem. I don't know how many of you guys been watching the news or not. We could talk about DACA, which is actually an important topic that we need to talk about, because DACA, a federal judge said that it was against the law for any governor, for they did with DACA. This is a federal judge. He said this is illegal. This program's illegal. It can no longer be here. So what happened with that? What happened with DACA is that now the DACA children are trying to figure out how to plead to Congress to help them become U.S. citizens. Well, where did that come from? Well, that comes from our loving president. Joe Biden, a year ago, quoted this, and you guys can go back and look. This isn't fake news. This is real. He said, our DACA children are American children. It's time to make them Americans. I don't know how many of you guys remember that quote. A lot of you guys probably don't, but if you're in the DACA program, trust me, I know you understand that quote, because you were probably hoping that that was what's going to happen, right? Well, what ended up happening is nothing. A lot of promises to a lot of illegals, then nothing ever happened out of it. Now, everybody knows that I stand for Immigration Reform Program, but a reasonable one that makes sense to everybody. Now, that's not a federal program, it's a California-only program, which means what? That people can be here legally in the state of California who are already here, who are working with a work permit and working their way into paying back society for breaking the law and being able to show that they're in good standings to be able to qualify to apply for a green card in X amount of time. Nothing's free. Unfortunately, Joe Biden told everybody that we're going to make you an American. Well, you can't do that without Congress. How can a state get away with it? You do a state program for the people who are in your state only, not anywhere else. You shut down your borders, you protect your borders, you stop human trafficking from coming in, you stop the drugs from coming in, and you concentrate on what's California. You open up California, you deregulate California, you make jobs available so that everybody who's here actually is working, paying their fair share of taxes and not mooching off the system. Why am I bringing all this up? Well, when we came to the United States, we had to work. We had to have sponsorship. My aunt, my grandmother had to sponsor my family, basically said that they were responsible for our family, that we could not go on federal or government aid while we did not have our paperwork or whether we didn't do our jobs. Well, we didn't grow. Well, that program's no longer there. Now, as you come over here, they give you all this free stuff, right? I want you guys to sit down for a minute because the next one's going to knock you on your butts. Our beautiful president of the United States, and I agreeing with this, maybe next week I'll wear the shirt that says, let's go Brandon, because you got to go, buddy. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm an immigrant, and I'm going to flat out say it. Our president wants to give every illegal person who got detained at the border and got separated from their family somehow, $450,000 for their hardship, up to $1 million. Joe, are you nuts? You want to help somebody, why don't we help the homeless people? Why don't we help the veterans, the people who fought for this country for you to make these stupid decisions? What is this world coming to? We have a president who wants to pay people who broke the law, who got captured, $450,000 each for a hardship? How about just giving them a ticket back? This is crazy and nuts. And people know that I'm for an immigration reform program, but I'm not for giving people money who broke the law. I'm not for paying somebody just to come over here and get separated from their families. $450,000? How many of us make that a year? That is insane. Where's that money coming from, Joe? There is no way America can afford to pay $450,000 to everybody who got caught at the border, got separated from their families. That's a risk that you take trying to break the law, trying to come into this country. Anybody who ever took that risk understands that. but you should not be paid. So if you just do that, how many more people are going to get to the border and keep trying to cross here and hope they get separated so they can get free money from the United States of America, from us, the California taxpayers, the American taxpayers? This is insane and crazy. Should not be happening. Somebody should really have this guy mentally checked, and anybody else who agrees with that. Okay? This is something that most people don't know. We talk about slavery. We talk about African Americans getting brought into the United States for slaves. Here's one that you guys don't know. More American white people were taken to Africa to become slaves than blacks were brought into the United States to be slaves. Proven factor. Don't believe me? Take a look at it. Not only that, slavery over there was still going after the slaves in America got freed. We don't ever talk about that. But those are the true, and that's true history that we really need to look at. But where do you get to break the law? Come into this country, try to come into this country, get caught, and then get paid $450,000. Because if that's what's going to happen, I'm looking for a family member that wants to go with me. We're definitely going to get separated. We're definitely going to come here illegally, and we're going to get our $900,000, and we're going to move on with life. It is insane and stupid to pay somebody to break the law. We have got to change the way we vote. This isn't about parties anymore. This is about our human rights are being trampled on. This is insane. You're worried in California about the gardener and his lawnmower and his weed eater, but you're not worried about the border problem. You're not worried about sex trafficking coming in. You want to make laws that prevent gas vehicles from existing, new gas vehicles from existing in the state of California, but you don't want to make laws to prevent illegal immigration from coming into California, or the people who are illegally living off our system. You want to reward these people. And I'm not saying they're not hardworking people. What I'm saying is that we have got to get our priorities in line. You're worried about something like SB 145, which allows a pedophile to break the law. But you're not worried about law and order and funding our police departments and getting them the training that they need. You're worried about solar so much that you increase our gas to over $5 a gallon now. You're so worried about our environment, yet you want lithium batteries to run our whole country, instead of looking at other resources like solar. Solar's a resource, whether we like it or not. It might not be the best resource, because for our environment, when those batteries die, it's not the greatest thing. If you only have solar at your house, but you don't have a backup generator, which they're going to try to get rid of anyways, in 2024, they're starting with the lawnmowers or weed eaters. What's next? Your home generator, your camping generator, the generator that Joe uses to be able to go do his carpentry work. All this is leaving us in the state of California. We're allowing it because of the people we hire. They're worried about that, but they're not worried about the homeless people who are sleeping outside, who are suffering. Yet you're worried about the illegal families that got separated at the border, and you want to give them $450,000. You got biofuel that's breaking technology that's been around for a long time that can be used. You have it, and now it's coming in a way where everybody, all of us who own a home, rent a home, live in a home, cook with cooking oil, can actually take our cooking oil and drop it back, put it in recycling, and get it used back for energy. We're saving the environment that way with biofuel. That's why I'm so strong with it, because it works for both ends. It doesn't just work for power, but it also works for the people who are environmentally secure and safe about this, because now we're recycling the energy that we're using. Makes sense. Not only that, you can do it from home, you can do it from your business, you can do it from anywhere where oil is being used. Makes sense to use biofuel. Yeah, nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to kind of slip it underneath. Yeah, you want to talk about lithium batteries, that once the batteries are done, they're worse on our environment than anything else that we have. Our lithium batteries will be worse than the fossil fuels, the pumps that we're doing, the gas, and all this other stuff that we're doing. Yeah, no, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about keep going solar. Again, what are you going to do with the batteries when they're dead? You want to talk about what's going on our borders? No, you don't. You want to talk about free, free, free. Well, where's that free coming from? Because if a lot of you guys got those stimulus checks, we're paying back for that money right now. Everybody who was on unemployment, we're paying back for that money now. Because guess what? Our prices are through the roof. Our taxes are going up. Our inflation is crazy these days. I went to McDonald's the other day and said, hiring $16 an hour. How crazy is that? McDonald's is now paying more than most trade people, than more journeymen are making. This is crazy. We have got to take control of our state. We have got to start controlling our country. Look what's going on. We can't even get products into our country. Have you guys been to the grocery store lately? It's like you're fighting to get anything. Our shelves are empty. Our administration did that. The people who are there right now in office caused this because we didn't like the way a president tweeted. How do you like it now? And if any of you guys are out there, and I don't want no backlash from anybody else, but I really want to know who the hell voted for this guy? Who in their right mind thought that this was a good decision to make and get Joe Biden into office? Anybody, please give me a good idea why this guy's in office. Can't put a sentence together, stayed in the closet this whole time, and now wants to give illegals $450,000. The average American makes $60,000 a year. How many years is that of $450,000 that you're paying for somebody because they came over here illegally? Where are they going to go spend the money? Do you think they're going to come back into the United States illegally with our money and what? Spend it here? Where's that going to happen? We have a lot of problems. And it seems like we're getting weaker and weaker because of our representation of the people we have in office. It's crazy how Joe Biden has destroyed the country or is on his way to destroying the country. That's my personal opinion. If you have a different opinion, feel free to give me in your comments because this is a bipartisan program. I call it as it is. Now, if you didn't like Donald Trump's tweets, vote for a different Republican or a different person that would have been better for this country. Not a guy who's going to give away our money, our rights, and our freedom, because that's what we're losing right now. Our freedoms are being taken from us by our elected officials. We freely voted for them. Now they're taking your rights away. Doesn't make sense, does it? $450,000 of our money is going to go downstream to wherever country these folks came from. And how are you going to find them? I read this post. I don't think it's funny, but it's pretty accurate. You can find illegals. You can't find illegals to deport them, but you sure know where they're at when you want to pay them. What's wrong with that program? And I'm not talking about people need to get deported. Okay, I'm not talking that America is not the land of the free and everybody's supposed to be able to come here and make a better way for them and their families. What I'm talking about is legal immigration, where people come here legally and do the right thing and not live off the system. Because guess what? First of all, California, we're taking in a bunch of refugees. We don't have water for California people, but now we got refugees coming. We don't have work for regular people, but now we have refugees coming that we have to take care of. We have illegals crossing the border every day from every country. We have human trafficking on our borders that nobody's really doing anything about it. Nobody even wants to talk about it. That's what this program is called, Waking Up California, because it's time that we wake up California. It's time that we make the right decisions on who we vote into office. You guys that voted for Gavin Newsom, I'm not going to hate on you. But what I'm going to say is open your eyes and let's not make the same mistake in 2022. Because since the recall happens, we have gotten worse. Our whole thing has gotten worse, not better. Our economy is going in the dumps again. People aren't going back to work. Now we have stupid mandates. Now, we're worried about people not being able to have an ID to go vote, right? That's Kamala Harris's biggest thing. Rural areas, people can't afford, the Black community, the Hispanic community, the minorities communities. We're attacking them, right? Because we're asking for voter ID. Well, I'll just break this down here real quickly. When you take away our lawnmowers, our weed eaters, or small generators, you're attacking the minority community. Not racist, not anything. But the reality is the bulk of Hispanics make a living off gardening, of being a gardener, of using these small generators, carpenters, construction people. We use these generators to provide for our families. So you want to attack a culture, you want to attack a race, you want to attack people, you're attacking us in 2024 when you're taking our small generators away and taking our opportunity to actually be able to make a living. That's a fact. You don't want voter ID, but you want us to show that we've been vaccinated to walk into a restaurant and eat. You want us to show a vaccination to be able to go shop at a grocery store. Yeah, when COVID-19 was going bad, nobody gave a rat's butt about a vaccination. They cared about a mask. So the mask didn't work. So now we're going to this. Not only that, now you're forcing us to vaccinate our kids. What the hell is going on? And if you're an assemblyman in the state of California or woman, can you please wake up? You're affecting each and every single one of us. I understand that the rules don't apply to you. But it's not fair to the California people who elected you that you're turning your back on us when we need your help. That's why I say both parties have failed the California people. And I'll stick through that through my campaign, and I will let everybody know both parties have failed the California people. You want to talk about electric cars? 2035? No more new gas, diesel cars being sold in the state of California. You can only buy them pre-owned till they get rid of their gas pumps, and then you can't even drive them anyways. You guys watch the movie Mad Max? Because that's what my feeling and my thought when we start talking about all this is where we're headed. Remember that movie Mad Max? Look at where we're headed. We're headed that way. We're heading the way where water's going to be dire. Waterworld, remember Waterworld? We're going to be dire for that. We're going to be dire for gas, for power, for everything. We're destroying a whole system. Instead of going forward, we're coming backwards. We have got to watch what we're doing. Now, I've said this a million times. If you had to get vaccinated because of your job, and you went and got vaccinated because of your job, that's a choice you made. And I will respect your choice. For the same reason the people who don't get vaccinated don't feel they need it, I will respect your choice. I don't believe that we should have to prove anything to anybody. In-N-Out Burger, I'm trying to get down there. We just don't have one up here. And I've been so busy I haven't been able to go there, but I will. This week, I'm going to go down to In-N-Out Burger. I'm going to post their big thing. Why? Because for once, a company stood up to the United States government and said no. They said, what? Let's go, Brandon. I got a different word for him. And said, no, we are not. We're not the police. We're not the vaccination police. Police chiefs and sheriffs out there who are saying we will not enforce this. Those are American people who believe in the Constitution and believe in choice and freedom. That's what we're talking about. I want to thank everybody who showed up on Saturday to the Patriots rally. All the Central Valley groups, Patriot groups, I'm going to invite you guys to join us November 18th for water. Come out. Let your voices be heard. This is something unique. I want to thank Boots on the Ground Cali, who is a great organization when it comes to helping distressed families who come out here and help families who been in fires or the weather or something has affected them. Boots on the Ground Cali, Aaron Bates has stood in the front lines, have taken donations, have helped fire victims throughout the years that they have had Boots on the Ground Cali. Thank you guys, but they are the host, one of the hosts to our water rally. Didn't have to say much. They came on, they got us the permits, they got everything set up, they're helping. But they couldn't have done it without a great organization that's called Make California Great Again. That organization has stepped up. Not only have they stepped up, they have gotten a lot of the speakers who are going to be there. They got a lot of the grassroots organizations to join us. This is something I want everybody to know. Zachary Farms, they have a representative, Leo Zaki. They used to own Zachary Farms. They had to sell out because of what's going on with the government, what's going on with the water. So we're excited to have Leo be able to talk about a little bit about poultry and what's going on in their industry with the water. But for most of this, I want to thank these organizations, veterans affiliated, BASTA, California Women's for Trump. Now, here's where it gets interesting, guys. When we talk about water, Latinos, we all know how important water is because our relatives, somebody who we know, works in a field, works a farmer, works at a dairy, works at a poultry, works for Foster Farms, works at Diesel Turkey Ranch, right? So for once, I can actually say this. I am proud to announce all the Latino organizations that are actually taking effect and going to join us November 18th. And if I forget any of you guys, I will mention you guys. Latinos for Trump, Latinos United, LEXA, which is Latinos leaving the Democratic Party or leaving any party. They're on board. Latinos, American First, Latinos First, We the People. All these Latino groups are actually joining together. The minority groups are coming together for what? For water, because we understand how important water is, not only to our relatives, to our families, to our friends, but we also understand how, for once being united, it's going to help our state better. Remember the projects. If you guys don't know what that stands for, it's very simple. These were the people and the family members that were affected by an illegal killing somebody and their family and nothing being done about it. This is a solid program. We the People, Patriots at Large, American First, Latinos, Moms for America. All these groups are coming together for water. I'm asking each and every single one of you out there that's watching this, that knows anybody who's in farming or any of these organizations, any of these patriot groups, anywhere that has anything to do and want to get involved. Get involved. Get a hold of me, DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Leave me a message. Come on here. Come on my Facebook. Go anywhere where you can get a hold of me. Get a hold of me and let's get you involved in this. Now, with all these great organizations being part of the water rally, I need you, your friends, your family members to also come out and give us the support that we need to show our legislation that united we stand, united we're there for our water rights, period. Doesn't matter whether you're the farmer, the almond farmer, or the salmon fisherman, or somewhere in between, the poultry, the dairies. We want everybody there. If you're Bikers for Trump, Bikers for Christ, veterans bikers, any kind of biker, this affects all of us. Why? Because this is our water rights. If we don't have water, we're not going to be able to do anything. All these organizations need to get involved. We want everybody to get involved. The list is getting bigger and the amount of people coming are even stronger. That does not mean that you can miss. Just because we have 20,000, 20,001 counts, 20,002 counts, 40,000 even counts better. So please put it on your calendar. November 18th, California, fighting for our water rights. If you belong to a water group, I don't care what water group it is. We want to represent everybody. We want everybody to have representation. We're going to have booths from all these organizations, from the people from the salmon, from the water boards. We want everybody there. Because for once, we're fighting for California and California rights. And this is a bipartisan problem. I don't care. Leave your party lines at home. This isn't about Republicans versus Democrats. This is about California people standing up for California rights and California water. And now is the time that you get to go out there and voice your thoughts and opinion. If you want to be a speaker at our event, please let me know. We still have room for speakers. We're looking for a band to be playing. We have a DJ coming. We're going to have a great time. But a better time is California uniting together for the same cause, which is our water rights. That's what this rally is about. I want to thank Dan Cools, who was at our event on Saturday, took some great pictures. You guys want to see some of the pictures of what happened on Saturday, please go to Dan Cools' Facebook page. He has some great pictures. Also want to thank Boots on the Ground for making it there, Sam Miller for putting it together. Patriot groups, come on out. Let's support each other. Let's support California, because that's what all this is about. Supporting California, supporting each other for a better future for our water rights. Water, guys, it's important. We can talk about education. This is going to be November 18th, State Capitol, Sacramento, West Side. Get there early. Event starts at 10. If you want to set up a booth, get there early. Let's get your booth set up. Get a hold of me. I'll get a hold of the administration that's doing it. Get a hold of Boots on the Ground Cali, or you guys could get a hold of Make California Great, which are the two leaders in this. Also with Veterans Affiliated, they're leading this. If you're part of BASTA, Latinos for Trump, Lexit, the White Project, Moms for America, America First, Latinos, We the People. Get a hold of your group organizer, get involved, make sure you're telling them that you're coming. This is going to be a great caravan event where everybody's going to be at the Capitol. We're all going to voice our opinions about our water. Bring signs. Make sure you make plenty of signs. Bring your flags. Bring American flags. Bring California flags. This is about California. It's about the California people. If you're a Democrat, independent, you're welcome. Come on out. This isn't about party lines. This is about water. I want everybody to understand that. This isn't about, I'm pro-farmer, I'm pro-salmon. This is about water. We're pro-water. We're pro-water rights. We need to get that fixed, and the only way we're going to do that is if everybody comes together and we are all united for a better cause. November 18th, Sacramento, State Capitol, 10 to 2, 10 to 4. We're going to go as long as the people are out there. They don't kick us out. Our permits till 6 o'clock. Probably shut it down around 2 to 4, just so that we could clean up and get everything done. We could use more volunteers out here that want to come out here. If you have a band or a group and you guys want to be able to play, please come out. Send me an email. Send me a text. Send me an instant message. Let's get you guys on there. If you're running for office or if you have something to do, you want to be a speaker, let us know. But if it's not about water, we really don't want to hear about it, because this is all about water. This isn't about Diego Martinez running for governor. This is about Diego Martinez, the Californian who's running for California water rights, who's going to be there representing California and the California people. We want the California people there to join us. This is about boots on the ground. Cali, who got in front of this, who got us the permits, who want better water rights for California people. We need to be out there. And if you can't be out there, send somebody else. Your voices need to be heard. This is the time to do it. My name is Diego Martinez, and yes, I am a candidate for governor of California for 2022. I will see you guys next week on Waking Up California. If you guys have an event, please let me know. I'm more than happy to go and join. I'm more than happy to show my support for California people. Party lines don't matter. Real Californians matter, and that's what we are. Real California people who want a better future. I want to thank Jack Griff for coming on board today in a great interview. Congressional candidate out of the Stanislaus area. Look him up. Boots on the ground. Cali. Make California great again. Veterans Affiliated and the rest of the groups who are supporting us on the water rally. Thank you for your support. I look forward to seeing all of you guys at the Capitol for the biggest event ever. The biggest event about water rights for the California people. Leave your parties at home. Show up for your rights to have water. Show up for your rights to be able to take a shower tomorrow. Show up for your rights and our freedoms that were given to us are getting taken away by the legislation that we do. Why do it on a Thursday? So people can hear your voices. It is time that we stop wasting time and let our voices be heard in the state of California. Come join me, boots on the ground. California, make California great again. Veterans Affiliated, BASTA, California, Women for Trump, Latinos United, Lexit, the White Project, Moms for America, America First, Latinos, We the People, Patriots at Large. And remember the project. All these groups are going to be there. Rain or shine, we're going to be out there. We're hoping that everybody comes out there. Come join us. My name is Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. I want to thank you guys for joining me today, and I will see you guys next week. Please leave your thoughts and comments underneath if you don't want to join us on our event. If you want to be able to help, please leave your thoughts and comments underneath or look me up at DiegoMartinezforGovernor.com. Thank you, and I will see you guys next week on Waking Up California.